Brian, what does it mean to be back in Rochester?
Well, for me, it's kind of like where it started. When I signed to be a pro, it's coming to Western New York. Obviously you know where you're going, but you don't know a lot about it. So my first real experience with the people and was Rochester, and it was a great introduction. Ended up being a place where I felt really comfortable, and I look back on my time, and I'm really thankful that we had a stable and safe and nice environment for all of us to focus on hockey and growing as a hockey player. But there's plenty of opportunity with this organization to grow as a person too, and that was pretty cool.
How pivotal was playing in the American Hockey League to get you ready for the career you had before?
Well, yeah. In hindsight, every young player is like, "Oh, I'm going to be in the NHL tomorrow." But when you're making that kind of jump, you're not just playing against your age group or even from college. Guys 3-4 years around, you're playing with the best in the world. You need to be tight on everything, right? Like you got to learn all your lessons. You have to have your game together, and it takes some time. And looking back, I'm really glad that I was able to have a lab to kind of experiment in a way, but it was a high pressure lab, high expectations, rich history here in Rochester of winning, and the fan base obviously is great, and they expect a lot out of you. So in one way you are experimenting and trying to grow as a player, and then on the other hand you better get it done. So it's a nice crucible, so to speak. You got to get it, you have to do it, you have to get it ready and prove yourself, and so it's perfect.
Sorry. Everyone talks about 04, 05 and that group. I mean, the guys were together before that, most of them, but just not having to worry about the NHL and just having that year to yourselves. Like, how did that transform you guys? Like, what that did for you guys?
Yeah, I think it kind of took away the distraction, so to speak. That's the hard part about, even I was thinking about what to say when I was here. It's like, you don't want to look past Rochester. It's a great place, and it's got a rich history, but you do want to play at the next level, right? So it's a conundrum. So remove that with a lockout, and you have we had a group of guys who were comfortable with each other, comfortable with where we were at in the world here in Rochester, and we had a lot of fun. We were working towards something, but it was always with an element of we're all doing it together, and winning is fun, right? So we built a great culture, and we had a good time doing it.
I remember you saying that year, maybe even the year before, that group was here to grow together. I mean, how important was that?
Yeah, I think we all understood what was laid out before us. The organization in Buffalo is pretty clear about their intention, and they were going to use the lockout period to get ahead of the league. They had ideas about what could be taking shape during that time with the rules and the expectation that a lot of rules would change. And I think they did a great job getting ahead of it and putting that into our heads about, we're going to hit the ground running with these new ideas. And other teams, I think, played catch up. We were a team that was ahead of the curve, and we were already comfortable, and we were. It's just great timing as far as being prepared.
How important was that time coming out of Michigan State and playing here to transition to get into pro hockey? You did so well at Michigan State, and making that change had to be jarring almost.
The college game is a little different, and you have to get used to the pro game. A lot of those lessons are not going to be easy ones. I do remember, looking back and coming up on moments where maybe my consistency wasn't as good or something like that. But it's all, in hindsight, that's all part of it, right? Like, you're not just going to be excellent at something the first time you do it, or if you do, you probably aren't going to have the sustained achievement. So kind of getting lucky maybe. So the idea was to master the skills we needed as a group and come out focused and ready, and unbelievably we were able to do it.
When was the last time you were here?
About then.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a long time. I think even those games I played in as rehab games are on the road, I think. So Yeah, it's been a minute.
Ryan, with Devin Levi taking the start and being maybe the future of Rochester Nelson Sabres organization, how do you feel about the progress? Like, where he's at and like how confident you are that he could be the guy that follows in your footsteps and could be a major part of this organization like how you were back in the day?
Well, he's certainly taken a good approach. I talked to him in the past about some things. I like that he is the kind of person who works on it himself in many different ways. Being a goaltender isn't just one thing; there's a lot of things together. So for him to kind of come together and put in the work and from what I've been listening to and when I do have a chance to hear some things, is that he's embraced being a part of the Rochester Americans as his goal is to lead this team and do something, and that's perfect. That's the approach we all took when we were here, and that was the mandate: go accomplish something, learn how to be leaders amongst this team, and it'll take you somewhere. So hopefully he's able to do that.
Do you have things that you kept from your Amherst time?
I gotta go look through the old, so that my memorabilia is kind of split. So like my parents' house still has a lot of stuff. I'm hoping to find one of the flag jerseys with the stripes, kind of like the kids have on. That's why we picked it. I just thought that was always one of my favorite jerseys ever. And then, there's a few AHL awards that have been pulled out of boxes recently, so it's been fun.
So, besides being a husband and father, just how are your days filled now? Are you still doing stuff for the Sharks?
Yeah, I work with the Sharks, and I do development for the goalies. I do the preparation for the draft for the goalies. Like right now is a little bit busy time getting final interviews and reports done. But it's I'll see you later. But that's been the fun part. It's been Mike Greer is the GM there, teammate from Buffalo, and he's been great about allowing me to have a schedule that keeps me connected to my family, and that was kind of a little bit of the condition of the job. Was I really wanted to do the job, I also wanted to be there for my kids, so it's kind of like I'm still really there in dad mode, but getting to see the other side of things and being privy to conversations and learning how things work on the other side of things has been great. And it's just trying to like increase my knowledge in all those areas and be a contributor to the Sharks and learning about the other side of things. It's been a lot of fun.
Do you go on the ice and work with them? Do you go in person and scout games and stuff?
Yep.
Too?
Yeah, all that stuff. Usually the first half of the season is a lot more hands-on, or during the summer, and then I take the second half. I watch a lot more video, and then head to U18s at the end of this month in Dallas. Thomas Vanek will be there with us as well. So me and Van and a couple other guys have that first half of the tournament, and some other guys at the other part. So it's cool. I get to see guys I used to play with, and I got some guys who I used to play against, or some guys in the industry who are guys I respect. Get to spend a lot of time with them, so it keeps me connected to the game, and that's been really nice to have that. Still have something like that.
Any specific moment when you were here in Rochester, whether it was from a game or practice, that you look fondly upon some of the teammates?
Honestly, just ramping up to the playoffs, and then being with the boys in springtime, and just something about when the season starts to change in Western New York and you're still playing hockey and everyone's excited. I mean, there's not a whole lot that's better than that, honestly. Like, I was fortunate to make a playoff run in Canada with Vancouver, and with the Ducks, who went through a one when I was there. Just went first rounds, but the excitement in places like this come springtime is, I don't know, the energy was just something we really, really thrived on, and it was a lot of fun.
All right. Good stuff. Thank you.
Thanks, Mosey.
Thank you, Ryan.
All right.